Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we talk books, drink booze, and have beards.
All right. As always, I am Bob of Tales by Bob.
I'm the ass of the podcast, Derek.
I am your time-traveling, emo-fantastic creative consultant, Tanya.
So we just recorded the music episode.
Jesus.
And Tanya decided to take us on a interpretive dancing
Okay, what had happened
tour
was...
of Taking Back Sunday. Is that the name?
Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
So...
Hadn't heard them, but boy, did we get a show.
Bob couldn't even appreciate the music
kicks,
because he was just...
High kicks.
God, this shit gets me so
At one point,
hyped.
she tried to start a little mini mosh pit with my roommate.
It's true. Didn't happen.
A lot of aggressive finger pointing.
Well, it's because the songs are so, emotional and shit. Anyway, let's talk about the Narrows.
That's
Before I get... I'm sweaty and kind of low-key out of breath.
That's what we're here for.
And this room has no air conditioner, and I'm full of regrets.
We're here today to talk to you about The Narrows by Travis M. Riddle.
Not Tom Riddle.
Not Tom Riddle.
Yeah.
Travis
kind
M.
of.
He's not the Voldemort.
So
He who must not
this
be named.
is a
name
self-published book. You can get it on Kindle Unlimited. Read it on there for free, but regularly, I think it's just $2.99. Audiobook version of it just came out. Travis is he's an active participant of the fantasy subreddit. They did one of the book clubs on the fantasy subreddit chose The Narrows as their book of the month to be reading. He seems like just a super solid, cool dude. Real friendly, real personable. I've talked to him a couple times. And I think we're going to be able to get an interview with him, actually.
Yay, exciting.
Pretty soon here. So, got that to look forward to. All right, so let's talk about The Narrows. Yes, Derek?
I was trying to think of a pun. I couldn't think
Oh,
of one.
okay. So, I guess a brief summary of the book. It is a light horror novel, kind of slice of life-ish horror novel.
Yeah, I mean, it's horror, but it's not oh my god, I'm so scared.
If you took all the horror elements out of this book, you'd still have a book that I would have enjoyed.
Yeah, it's still a pretty solid book.
Yeah.
Horror is just something there that makes things happen.
Yeah,
It's not
moves the plot forward.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably the point of the story, but it doesn't feel like the end-all, be-all.
Well, to me, for me, the point of the story was his relationship with Noah, not Nolan.
Yeah.
All right, so
what happens in this book?
Here's what I'm
Synopsis.
just going to brief synopsis of the book. There was a group of friends in high school. They were from Shermerd, Texas.
Shermerd Springs.
Which I looked up is not a real place in Texas, but is the name of a type of oak tree in Texas. It's a Shermerd oak. They were all super close besties, and then they grew up, and 3 of them stayed super close besties. 1 didn't.
Well, 3 went to college in one place, and 1 went to a college elsewhere.
But was still good friends with them.
Yeah.
And then, but this is all background material. So when the book starts, the 3 have remained besties. 2 of them have gone home to Shermerd Springs for Christmas when they find out that the guy who is no longer their friend has committed suicide. And Oliver is kind of our main character. Him and Noah had been best friends their whole life until just 16 months ago, basically. And it hits him really, really hard. So he starts every night driving over there to where Noah killed himself. And one night was there.
Shenanigans happen.
Weird shit happens. This guy pukes orange to death and melts into a puddle of orange goo in the ground.
I've seen a guy vomit some orange or pinky orangey stuff.
He's sitting right here. Why would you talk about him like that?
No, it's very accurate.
Yeah.
I actually filled a tub with about 2 inches of pink puke, and she found it the next morning in the shower where to clog the tub.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. And whenever people are like, "Why are y'all divorced?" I think of that. I think of that right there.
I'm sure that's what it was.
That's what I go to is
How did it last?
There were some things.
All right. So, and then He kind of gets involved in kind of like investigating a little bit, and he eventually brings in his friends much later down the way, and they go in to investigate what the fuck is going on here, because they think that maybe Noah didn't kill himself. Maybe whatever caused this orange pukiness, which is a creature called the Knave, maybe the Knave had something to do with Noah's death, and they're trying to save Noah. And then it turns out that the Knave had absolutely nothing to do with Noah's death, and the book ends. They kill the Knave, the book ends.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, spoilers all around. But I assume if you're listening to this, you've read the book, or otherwise you're an idiot for listening to an hour
You're a knave.
planning to read this book. Yeah. All right. So that's the gist of the book. I love this book with the power of 1,000 blazing suns. I know, Tanya liked it.
I enjoyed it.
Derek, overall, generally positive.
Generally positive.
Yeah.
It was.
I know it took you a long time to get into it.
Yeah.
And then once I did, it was. I mean, it was a read. Like I don't regret having read it, but I won't read it again. You know what I mean? Like, and it was fine. But it's not.
I say rereading it because I've read it twice now. It benefited from a reread. But I'll say this: having reread it, the first chapter is the weakest chapter. I feel like
I do not disagree
by far. Like the first chapter. Like, there's a lot that goes on there that doesn't, like, it's poor introduction to the book, I think. After that first chapter gets so much better, in my opinion, it gets so much better. First chapter was kind of like, rereading it, knowing what was coming. When I was reading that chapter, I was like, this is all kind of, what do they say, like, early in, out late, or something like that? Like, so, a lot of
out
that.
late in, or wait, no, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, like...
come in as close to the action as possible.
Right. It didn't start as close to the action as it could have. You know, there were just some... You could have rearranged the plot a little bit to make it work a little better, I think. But yeah. All right. Tanya, what is something that you liked about this book?
I really liked how it felt. I mean, grown-up friendships are weird and strained, and you grow up with people and you're super best friends, and then adult life happens, and then how do you continue to be friends with grown-ups when you're different people and you have different lives? And then how do you not be angry that your best friend, who used to be your best friend in high school, didn't go to college where you went and doesn't text you as much as you text them? So that dynamic, I guess, between Oliver and looking back on his relationship with Noah, I liked that. It felt pretty realistic. I mean, you kind of get the feeling that maybe Noah was perhaps into some shit at one point because, you know, he's super fell off the face of the earth. But also, adult life happens, and
and obviously, you know, he's taking
a new job somewhere else.
Yeah.
And has to get, you kind of got to go all in once you get there.
And was taking antidepressants. You know, no one knew that he was depressed.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
it's your best friend, but do you really know that person?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I really like that. Like, just the relationships felt very real. And one part I really liked, like, I disagreed with it, but it felt very real, was how Sophia just flat out refuses to go to the funeral.
Yeah.
And then, like, after the fact, Sophia and Oliver go to the park.
Had that argument about it?
Yeah, kind of have an argument about it. And it's like, I was like, I thought Sophia was being a twat about it.
Yeah.
I did. Sophia is my least favorite character. Just because, like, I wouldn't make the choices that Sophia made. I get it. You were never as close to Noah as the rest of everyone, but, like, at that point, you're not going to the funeral for Noah. You're going to the funeral to be there to support your friends who are suffering.
Yeah, you're not going there for the dead person. They're dead. Spoiler, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You're there for the people who aren't dead.
Right. And at the end of the day, the thing I love most about this book is the little moments that just seem so fucking real. Like, when he's at the funeral and he's sitting behind Noah's sister. He's like, you know, if this was a movie, I'd reach out and, like, touch pat her shoulder. And he's like, I can't do that. Like, no. And, like, Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
so fucking real. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you think you should do this, but you end up not doing it. 'cause
Yeah,
you're
that's one thing I was gonna say is like I liked that. It took me a long time to like any of these characters, but that was kind of one of the things that started making me like Oliver, because it was like he's acknowledging that, and that is probably the correct, like, that is a good thing to do. It's just he couldn't do it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I mean, but 100% can relate. There's
Yeah,
a lot of times
exactly.
like I know the thing I should be doing right now, but I just literally cannot make myself.
she's too busy doing high kicks in the living room to take it back Sunday.
it takes a lot of effort, man. It,
does.
takes a lot of
Winded me.
heart and
to
commitment.
be. Oh, okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But no, like
I
that's
was very passionate.
yeah. Well, the thing I was most passionate about in this book were those moments. Like,
Yeah.
full disclosure, it was an all right read. I enjoyed it. I didn't really get into any of the supernatural stuff. Literally, the only, like, the small moments between the characters, once I bought into the characters, was the thing that drew me through everything.
Yeah.
Which is why up until like damn near halfway through the book, when Oliver wasn't telling anyone about what was going on, I was just like, I'm not into this because everyone's by themselves. No one's interacting. Like, they have some interaction, and then he, like, won't
Yeah.
deal with it with people.
Yeah.
And I'm not there for the mystery because it just wasn't for me.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't really what I was there for. The things that I liked was when he started talking to people, and then he was resisting doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like, and then once he finally, like, when he went to the party at Jez's and met Ashley, like,
Yeah.
that's when I was like, I'm in. Like, let's go.
Yeah, because then
he-
it's not one man just suffering alone. It's
Yeah.
okay. Now we're
there's something we're
doing
getting some
something
back and
together.
forth, right?
yeah.
Because and like I liked Devontae and all, but like
My problem with I really enjoyed. I think Devontae is the second best character.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with him was he was a little too perfect. Like he didn't really have any flaws that nothing I can think of. Like he was like, every character has some sort of,
something that makes you be like, that's not really great.
yeah, like some sort of flaw, except for Devontae. Devontae is perfect.
Yeah, but I would say that he wasn't, because he was also probably the least examined of the characters.
Yeah.
So that was my thing. It was like, there's probably something there.
Well,
We just
you know,
kind of
like,
didn't
and
get to
there's
see
something
it.
else, like another thing I really liked about it that I didn't agree with was just the way that it's like, the way they kind of like, everyone was kind of shitting on Jez.
Yeah.
And like, I get it. I mean, they're like, everyone has had people like that in their life that were just like, they're the butt of every joke. You know, you eventually distance yourself because, you know, they're too much into drugs or whatnot. But just how all the Jez interactions I really enjoyed, because I thought Jez seemed like a very believable, like, kind of like lost puppy kind of character. But then just the way that they treated him, I didn't like.
Yeah.
But it felt very real. Like, I was like, and you
Yeah, I've seen that
I've
happen.
seen
and
that,
like,
yeah.
and like the group dynamic there, where like Oliver is kind of like, well, you know, what if we, you know, maybe we invite it, and then like Sophia's like, no, fuck that,
Man,
no.
fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really didn't like her.
yeah, I really didn't like Sophia. Very believable character.
Just
Just-
the type of person I don't.
Like I feel like it's something that I encounter a lot in the world. Is like okay, I get it. You had a fairly shitty, like, I'm sure being a trans person in Texas, not great. I have no doubts that you probably had some really shitty interactions, yada yada yada. Probably much more comfortable in New York, and I get it. But it comes to a point where it's like you're letting these past experiences deny you current experiences that could be good. Like I get it. Like you don't want to be misgendered, but Jez's mom, really fucking cool. Like,
Yeah.
like
Was a sweetheart.
was a sweetheart. You
Just
know,
wanted to see.
yeah, just wanted to see you. And like, I get
Yeah.
it.
And
I've
was
never-
super cool about it.
I've never
over
been
the
in that.
dinner
I've never
table.
been in that situation,
Yeah.
so it's not. I can't really say, but it's like I think
My thing
you're letting your bitterness deny you positive interactions
See,
with people.
my thing was like, Like that was kind of shitty, but like I was like, I get that if you're just like, I don't know if they're really going to know about me. I don't really want to deal with that. That's perfectly fine.
Totally get that.
The being a bitch all the other time
Yeah.
was the thing I was like,
I mean, and I even understand being like,
fuck that guy.
Salty, bitter, angry man. Fuck that guy. Where has he been for the last 3 years? Oh, what? We're supposed to be... Oh, man, Noah, he's dead? No, man, still fuck that guy. It was fuck that guy last week. It's fuck that guy still today. Just because you're dead doesn't... It doesn't make you... It doesn't change who you were as a person just because you died.
Yeah. I get...
So, I mean, I get it.
I get it.
Is it shitty? Yes. But I get it.
And like I said, I thought Sophia was a very believable character.
Yeah, 100%.
Just one that I just...
wouldn't have hung out with.
I just disagree with on all accounts. But also, here's the thing, though. I also think that we're seeing Sophia at the worst possible moment.
Because people
like
do process their angry and their feels
I
differently.
feel like if this book had been a day in the life of Sophia in New York, I feel
Completely
like we
different.
probably... It wouldn't be completely different, because I still feel Sophia is kind of just a little bitchy. But I think it would have been... significantly different.
Tempered anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's one of those things where, like, even in all the so when she got on the flight at the end to leave, even the example in Oliver's head of like, I know we just said that, but she's going to be texting us like in an hour, and she's going to be
complaining
about something she ate or mocking somebody that she's watching, and I'm just like, I don't like that person. I don't like that kind of person.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I also think that New York is where they choose to live. They're probably not constantly shitting on it to the degree that Sophia seems to kind of shit on Shermerd. So who knows? I would be interested to... Well, I don't know if I'd be interested. None of these characters interest me in and of themselves, except for Devontae. Like, just... most
what else you got going on, buddy?
Well,
what else you doing?
I really like his
energy. Yeah.
I like his energy. I like his, like, man, tell me more about these computer games you're designing. But Oliver, I have no interest in Oliver outside of his relationship with Noah. Like, that is like, the conversations he has in his head with Noah were probably my favorite parts of the book.
There wasn't enough of them.
There weren't.
There was only like 3 or 4.
There was like one kind of like maybe like 3/4 of the way through, and then like the last chapter is about half him talking with him, half not. But I loved those. I love those, and like I love them partly because it's like, okay, maybe this is what would have been said, but you also know this is all just made up. This is all just made up. And the two things I really liked was, one, you go through all this supernatural stuff, and at the end it mattered fuck all.
I love it.
See,
I liked that. I liked that, like, they think that we're doing something for Noah, and then it's
just not it.
It had nothing to do with Noah.
To not think that your friend that you thought you
just
knew really
had
well.
Some stuff going on.
Yeah, you thought you knew this person super well, and there's no way they could have killed themselves, and you're trying to find any explanation. Just
something to cling to.
Yes, the knave manipulated him. It's not my friend. They would never have done that, and it just happens sometimes.
I liked that was a thing.
Yeah,
and I also liked that we never find out what was going on with Noah.
Nope.
I had like that was probably the reason I didn't particularly like this. It was an okay read. Like I don't want to. It wasn't one of these books where I shit on it all the time, like all these other ones. Like there's a lot of other books where I'm just like, no, these things are not good.
Yeah.
Like these, there's very different, because this one was just kind of like it was a read, and it was fine.
There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but for you, it doesn't.
For me, there was something. No, there was something wrong, and it was that because. But it was the entire time I was like, this makes no sense. There's no connection here.
Oh.
And I saw it the whole I understand that the character wanted, like, I get that.
Well, that's the thing is, like, Oliver wanted it to be that way because he didn't want to accept the fact that Noah just killed himself.
Yeah, but as
even the other people are like, so what? We're gonna go dig up his body and put it, like, I think everyone but Oliver realized
this makes no sense.
I mean, and even the reader, I mean, I kind of figured out, like, dude, he's DED dead. Like, what are you gonna do? Yeah. Like, he's been
my issue with
embalmed and everything. Like,
just
what are we doing here?
Was just that, like, the entire time I'm reading the book, I can see the seams. Like, I know this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so it's not fitting together to me. Like even the logical jumps that he took that didn't make sense, Extra didn't make sense. Like it's like I don't even see where there could have been something that put you in the mindset to believe this might have been like I don't. And so the entire time I was just like, none of this matches up. But then it would get to the parts where the characters talked, and I was like, well, I'm a literature major. I'm okay with just people interacting and experiencing that and enjoying that for what it is.
Yeah.
So I got to that and it was fine.
Like,
but
I mean, like I said, I mean, you can take every bit. I looked this book up because I was like, I want to read some horror, and I saw the cover and I loved the fucking cover, and I read it.
Really
it's like,
cover.
I was like, oh, cool. Okay, this is a horror book, but like, honest to God, man, Travis Riddle, the best thing that he does is write emotional interactions. Like his other two books, Wondrous and Ballum Spring, especially Wondrous.
I think I have it.
I mean, they're all on KU.
Yeah.
He does really good at writing like emotionally impactful relationships, like Oliver and Noah. Just like you can kind of feel like the bewilderment and anger and just like, and I get it. Like it's like I have I had a relationship, like me and this guy were friends for years and years and years, and just kind of somewhat out of nowhere it seemed like there was a lot of anger directed towards me, and it's like what the fuck kind of deal. Like, so and obviously like this person didn't then kill himself and leave a huge mystery, but like let's say that this person had, I would have just been left like, well, what the fuck, man? Like what happened? And just like being left unknown, like no way to know, you know? Like relatable. Like I can definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking about relatable, how great was it that he found a local cam girl and then just had to go look at her in her face like, oh, I have not just watched you fuck yourself, and then how do I interact with that? Because low-key relatable.
Okay, let's talk about that. Oh, I have.
Yeah.
I can think of 3 different times in my life that I have been like, oh,
that's where I know you from. Whoopsie.
Oh, well, it's like one of those things. Like someone like it's like one of those like you might know this person, and then you find out that secretly they've been a cam model this whole time. So the next time you run into him, is like,
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my eyes?
Do we talk about what you do on the internet, or do we
like,
not talk about that?
Obviously, you didn't set it on your Facebook as your career is cam model, but like, doesn't mean that you're trying to keep it super secret. Like, can I? Like what? Oh my god! So it's
do I
awkward.
wink, wink, nudge,
it
nudge?
Literally is what do I do with my hands? Like
yeah.
It's like I don't understand what situation I'm in. Yeah. I don't know the rules of this interaction.
Yeah, I love it. What
do I do?
Loved it.
Yeah, I really liked that. That said, my biggest problem with the book was just the fact that she's a cam girl. And I really, like, I almost feel like she was a cam girl for plot purposes, not character purposes. It's kind of how it felt like. Like, so much of, like, her being a cam girl synced up so perfectly with what he needed for the plot. Like, this is a way that he can be watching this person he doesn't really know that just happens to live in the neighborhood. And, oh my God, it sounds like she's hearing something. Yada, yada, yada. Help. So I have something to talk about.
But he didn't mention that she was that before he was even looking into her, right? They didn't, because they used to work together.
They used to work together, but he knew that he had known that she was a cam model like the whole time. It's not like he just, because he references like how he had watched her go from like Tumblr posts that were scantily clad to then nude to then camming, and he'd followed her career, and so it just seemed a little too pat that she happens to live 2 blocks away.
Nah, 100%. Tiny town, girl with some good titties. She's gonna get on Tumblr. Sense. She's gonna get more and more naked. I have seen the Tumblr girls go.
No. He's not saying that, but he's saying
that's super believable. Here's my
and the fact that she never gets out of Schumert and she still lives there.
Yeah,
still 100% believable.
No. My problem is nothing to do.
I'm not saying it's not
with
believable.
That. It's her being a cam model to me, was a false note in this. Like, her as the character, I'm fine with. Her, like, everything about that. It's just like the tone of this book, her being a cam model, just every time I read it, it just rings like a false note. Like, I don't, just something about it. And, like, in this, I have nothing against cam models. I have several cam model friends. Like, it's fine. That's not the issue here. And her as a character, like, if she had been a single mom, just still maybe delivering the odd pizza, living off, child support, yada yada yada, it would have felt more right for the story than just, I don't know, just to me it was just a
Nope.
Yeah, I disagree.
Can't relate.
Yeah, because
that's just a me thing.
Yeah, because legitimately it makes perfect sense. Like, oh, well, I mean, I can. It's the natural progression. Of like, I can.
Well, no,
totally do this.
Again, I'm not saying that it's unbelievable that she's a cam girl. I'm just saying for the tone of the story, it just, to me, it didn't fit the story.
What is the tone of the story?
Not that. I don't. Just something about, like, I don't know, man. I can't put my finger on it, but both times I read it, the first time when I read it, the whole time I'm like, this is odd.
The only thing that was odd about that whole thing is that Oliver didn't even try and flirt with her. That was the only weird thing. They were really good friends. He obviously found her attractive because he was checking out her stuff.
Yeah.
And never, like, it's not that they even, like, I don't need a romance angle or anything like that. But he never even considered it in the mental processes in his head.
Yeah.
That's unrealistic. Because
well, I don't know. I kind of view it like bartenders. Like, bartender can be super flirty.
Mm-hmm. No, but my thing is, like,
the fact that he, like, if I was in that situation, as I have been in that situation, I find out that this person is a cam model. Yes, they're attractive. Oh, they are single. Oh, we have hung out. If they know that I know that they're a cam model, it doesn't really enter, at that point it doesn't enter the equation, because I just feel like they view me as a customer.
Well, no, but my thing is, like, not even necessarily flirting. Maybe that's not what I meant. But, like, the fact that when you're in his head, there's no even recognize. Like, so in a situation like that, this person that you know.
Yeah. Like, you're saying he doesn't even consider the fact that,
she's attractive.
Yeah.
Like, that never crosses his mind. It's like, well, you've known her a long time. You're real good friends. You know she's attractive. You've seen her naked. You're like, and this never, when you're in her presence,
I don't
crosses
blame
your
him
mind.
for not hitting on her, but you are right. The fact that it never.
Yeah, because I wasn't talking. It's like,
mentally,
again, I don't need, like, a romance angle here. It's just like, didn't even. Yeah. Never occurred to you not once? Like, she was grabbing on you a couple times in this thing, and it never, even a brief, like, oh, wow, okay, let's focus.
I definitely agree with that. That said,
don't think about her fucking herself right now.
Right.
We have the knave to worry about.
I do like the fact, though, that didn't, I didn't need a romance angle in this. And I do like that it wasn't like, it didn't go in that direction. Like, there's other. I'm not in.
Well,
this
as far
book
as she's
for,
concerned, she still has a boyfriend, even though his face melted.
They broke up.
Oh yeah, that's right. They broke up.
But even
but they were still living together, right?
No, he had moved out.
Paid for the whole thing by herself because of her cameo.
But I did think it was weird that he was in the neighborhood.
Says the guy who lives
when he died,
literally a block away from your ex-girlfriend. Super weird that you're in the neighborhood when you die in this house. Yeah. What?
I don't know.
I'm glad that you started laughing about exactly where I was going. It's like,
I didn't think about that. There's no reference made to him living, like, later on it comes out, oh, hey, he moved out.
Yeah.
And then.
You're still from the area.
Because the thing is, like, she lives in Shermard Springs.
Yeah,
they all live in Shermard.
But did Jez?
All of them live in Shermard. She lives in Shermard Springs.
I thought that was just a subdivision.
I knew it was a different place, but for some reason I didn't remember if Jez did.
No, because they all went to school together. She went to a different school.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
So.
But then again, the only reason they had any contact with that guy was because she dated him and it was friends with Jez. So it would make sense that he would have been from that area, not their area. So it makes sense that he would be found there.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, just the vibe I got was that Shermard Springs was kind of like a bedroom community, like a kind of more upscale bedroom community of Shermard. It's kind of just the general vibe I got. So
Like the Pike Road to our Montgomery.
yeah, so I didn't expect.
You got jokes?
No,
I
just
didn't
wish
expect
I
a
could
guy
live in
who
that fancy side
Jez
of
is his
town.
best friend to then move out of a house in Sherwood Springs into another house in Sherwood Springs. So it was just kind of a little weird. But,
Probably
maybe
move back in with his folks.
Well, maybe he was being a creepy stalker. Maybe he was not over her and was going back to...
I
Maybe
don't
while
appreciate you impugning his motives
Maybe
after
while
he died,
she's camming
Bob.
with her windows open, he's watching from the street because when you're
Come for these quality faps.
quality faps. Because when your lights are on and it's dark outside, people can see right in your windows.
Winders.
Winders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big creepy.
Big creepy. So I want to talk about the amount of food references.
Waffle
The
House.
copious amount.
There were a lot.
Well, it's holidays. 1, tons of food for holidays.
Yes.
2, you're going back home, which when I lived in Ohio and I came down to Alabama, all I did was eat. Because I was like, all right, I want to go to Crystal's because I never get Crystal's. I want to go here because I never get to get this stuff. I want to go to Country's Barbecue because their sausage is real good. But then it's also someone's died. And then you
Yeah.
also get a lot of food.
Also, it's podunk nowhere. Ain't nothing to do but eat.
Yeah, like I don't have a
they got a
problem.
fancy
No, it was
new
just- it
Waffle
was just
House.
something you
There
noticed.
are they repeated trips to Waffle House.
Everyone
The
mom's
new
is
one
a
and the
gourmet
not
cook.
new one.
Yeah, him getting what are they kolaches?
Kolach.
Kolaches?
Whatever, I don't know. I don't know how to say them.
Yeah, him
Donuts.
The repeated kolach trips. They grill out in the park.
Honest to God, there
Dinner at
kept being so
Jez's.
much stuff about food. I was like, how is this going to play into something?
Well,
here?
so here's my thing. What other book? So they live in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
All right? That's where they live. And I think Travis Riddle lives in Austin.
I forget.
Well,
I
that
read
makes
the thing
sense.
at
I
the
think
back
he
of
lives
the
in
book,
Austin.
but
What other book have we read that takes place in Austin?
Crickets.
Emergency Contact,
Oh.
which also had a lot of food references in it.
Did it? Oh, yeah.
It
they were a
did,
coffee
yeah.
shop.
They worked in the coffee shop. And
look,
just-
I'm going to be honest. I
there-
just think
there's
it's the
food
common
truck stuff?
culture.
I
Well,
think
that's what I
nowadays
think.
for-
I'm just wondering, like,
Food
is this like Austin is known for having a lot of great restaurants? And, like,
Oh, I
food
don't even
truck
know if
culture
it's
and stuff
about
like that.
Austin,
So
I
I'm
just-
and like I want to say,
Hipster culture.
Wondrous
food.
has some a
Foodies.
good bit of food references in it as well, if I recall correctly.
Well, I mean, most humans do eat, and eating is a
Yes.
part of important social.
No, very true.
things.
I'm just saying these
I
have
learned that in a book.
These have Redwall caliber amounts of food references. Like you don't think of another book set in the modern day that references food as much as this.
Lord of the Flies.
Completely different reason, though.
Hey.
But just it's interesting to note. I
Yeah.
just wanted to bring that up because, like,
Yeah.
well, we read Emergency Contact, which had a lot of food references, also set in Austin. Mm-hmm. Just like I wonder,
Food.
it's just such a big part of the culture that because this book very much reads like I would be greatly surprised if 40% of the things in here are not specific events that came out of Travis's life. Like I just some
Oh,
of
the
them-
slice of life thing.
the slice of life stuff, like
Yeah.
just feel like interactions he's had or things that him and his friends like the Waffle House trips, like that read very like
Mario
this is-
Kart tournament.
Yeah, this all these things read as something that
Sneaking off into the woods.
like he's probably done,
Yeah.
just how it seems
Yeah.
to me. I really want to try kolache.
No, you don't. It has
do.
has some spice to it.
Yeah, I'm getting a little better. If I have some milk, some milk. Some milk to get that heat off my tongue.
Oh, here's the thing, Derek. When do you just drink glasses of milk? Is that a thing? Is that
I
when
need
you
to
when
be-
you're
I need you to be
thirsty?
more specific.
No. When you're sitting down and you're getting food, do you drink a glass of
Do
milk?
you mean now or growing up?
No, as an adult.
No.
What kind of food? Is it like breakfast? Are we at Waffle House getting some breakfast?
Do you
Only-
get Waffle House milk?
Why wouldn't you?
I
Because
can rattle
water,
off quite
coffee,
a few. Orange
Cola,
juice,
orange, like
Tea?
just everything
Okay.
else.
milk.
Get a biscuit and gravy plate. Want some milk with that?
No, you
Water.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
milk.
What's wrong with milk?
You drink milk.
Yes.
Look, I can't
I
say.
get-
well,
I get
I-
pints of milk
you know
in the
what,
gas
guys?
station somewhat
I'm
regularly.
gonna need you to ease up because Superfan Bud used to. I don't know if he
Okay.
still does.
I will say that I am very biased against drinking milk because when I drink milk, my throat gets really phlegmy, and I feel like I'm suffocating.
Yeah.
So I cannot
Well,
understand
you
how
also
anyone.
smell bad.
Wait, hold on.
No, you were bad at
Poor.
smelling
Oh
milk.
yeah,
You're bad at smelling milk.
It's like Jesus Christ.
Well, you do smell
No,
bad,
I'm not
but-
good. I'm not good at being able to smell milk either. Have drank.
To check to make sure that it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
That's a nerve-wracking thing to me.
Dude, I have
it's-
drank and two. I
Just-
have
just
drank
let it go.
spoiled milk far too many
She
times.
drank a lot of chunks over the years, is what she's saying.
Not whole chunks,
Can we
but
just
just
stop
like
talking
right when
about
it turns.
this?
Yeah.
More
so-
2% chunks. But
Yeah. So
Oh.
I'm not big on drinking milk because it all stinks. It's all gross
Let's
and it makes
move
my
on.
throat real phlegmy. But Drinking
So
milk?
here's a very specific reference I wanted to bring up,
Okay.
which was
We got
fucking
off sideways.
great. Sophia at Waffle House orders
Mm-hmm.
her food. She hates the grape jelly and had to ask for strawberry.
Doesn't that remind me of someone?
Fucking Bane, man. Every time in
Is
college,
this the Bane episode?
every time we went to college at Waffle House in college, he would fucking order his food and they'd give him grape jelly, and he'd be like, "Hey, can I get strawberry?
Strawberry.
Can I get the jelly?"
Really?
Yeah,
And Dusty would give him the fucking mixed fruit for
Yeah.
ha-has.
yeah,
That's amazing, actually.
yeah. No, or maybe it was they always gave him this and he wanted the grape. It was something like that. It was something like he always got
The wrong jelly.
The wrong jelly. Yeah, always.
While we're mentioning Sophia, my favorite line out of the whole book was at the very end when she's about to leave, and she's like, "Man, I wish I had. When I come back next, we got to get some of those, like, what was it, pork chop or some
Oh,
some
man.
kind of sandwiches."
Oh, yeah.
And Devontae's like,
Hey, man, you want to
"Oh,
go to
Oliver,
Austin? Let's go."
tomorrow night, you want to go get that for dinner?" It's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Fuck y'all."
Yep. I love
Fuck
it.
y'all, I'm out, or whatever
Yeah,
she said.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That is the
Perfect
I about
interaction.
Real.
fucking it was like the
Real.
realest thing. It was literally,
Yep.
fuck y'all, I'm leaving. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how you end. Like, you spend a whole bunch of time with your friends. You don't really want to leave, but then they make some kind of fucking joke like that. You're like, you know what? I'm out of here.
Yep.
And that's how it ends. That's how you was like, I'm going to get on my fucking plane, you assholes.
Yeah,
Yep. I'll drink my
100%.
pink milkshake by myself.
yeah.
That was my favorite thing in the entire.
And then
book.
it
I
then
about died.
ends on a very melancholy note. Just very.
I didn't particularly love the way it ended.
I think it ended the way it needed to end. I think just.
I don't. I wish it would have finished the fucking sentence.
Yeah, it
It
definitely.
ends
Okay.
like that. I don't need a
I-
conclusion.
Yeah,
I just
I did kind of wonder what that was all about. Like,
Is there more? ...
that was my thing. It was like, just finish the sentence.
like his,
Like, I don't need-
you
I don't need conclusion.
You could
I don't
read
need-
into it that maybe he kills
mean,
himself. Maybe.
Which is
There's that, but
That
there's
was-
also
I don't
like
think so, but
Yeah,
there's
I
could read it that
definitely
way.
still the Narrows world existing. He
Yeah.
knows how to go back and forth.
Yeah.
He could
Yeah, but
Maybe he-
go
there's
back.
no point. Why
maybe
would he? Why?
he goes to
Why would he go back?
Ashley's house. Maybe his thoughts stopped because like, oh shit, I've been fucking missing my opportunity to
Let me
make
go get
out
my
with this
dick
kid.
wet.
Yeah, maybe he like dips out. He throws it in drive and zips over
See,
there and
and-
knocks
and
on
Throw
the
it in
door.
reverse, Terry.
She
Now,
answers. She answers the door.
You're going
dildo
deep,
still
Bob.
still
You're going
in
deep,
hand.
like her.
Yeah.
No, but
Hey-o.
so
No.
and you mentioned this early, and so I didn't need a romance. But look, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm a super sucker for a good romance.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
So like, it would have been cool if it, like, I don't think this story really needs it,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where it's like,
Can we get a follow up?
Yeah.
well, it's just one of those things where,
But, like, hey,
if you give me
for-
that, I would be. I would love it.
9. It takes place 9 years later. All right, Travis, listen.
Oh my God.
I got your sequel.
This is gonna be an awful pitch.
No,
I'm
10,
here
10
for it.
years later, Oliver and Ashley are married. They have a
Yikes.
kid.
Yikes.
The kid
We going for Stranger
has
Thing in the movie?
has inherited the good power to be able to dip
Get
into
in
the
the
narrows.
narrows.
The kid goes missing, and
I'm so here for this.
And everyone thinks that like, oh, the kid got kidnapped, but Oliver is like, no, the kid slipped into the narrows, and
Or
so
maybe it
him-
was kidnapped by the name.
or maybe it was kidnapped by the Narrows, and so he's got to go into the Narrows to
Dude.
find his daughter.
Also, can we get like some superpowers? Because like they were like, you're special. I'm like, well, how
Yeah.
is he special? I want to see how he's special.
Well,
Show me more special.
Oh no, he was kind of special, and you know how the Knave is like, oh well, she's also special.
Exactly.
Their kid is extra
Oh, I'm so
special.
there for this.
So the kid gets stolen.
Oh, I
into
thought
the
this was gonna
Narrows.
be a bad
They
pitch.
They go in after her.
I'm disappointed now. I thought it was going to be a shit pitch I was going to piss
Devontae
on.
is loaded now from his game company, so there's something there. Sophia has moved back to Austin. They're all living in Austin. Kolaches abound. If
I'm here
there's
for
a
this.
food truck action, maybe they're ever food trucking in the Narrows so they can have kolaches on the go. I don't know how this goes. But there you go.
And the last one ends with Sophia still not getting her fucking sandwich.
Yeah.
And her saying, "Fuck y'all, I'm out."
The sandwich place burned down the
Yep.
day she moved back to
Yep.
Austin. Like
Modine's.
Yeah.
So I really liked how everybody's soul was a different gem and had different powers, and so the knave had the 3 sockets and let me socket it in different ways and have different powers.
Relax.
That would make a really cool magic system.
That was super cool. He was like, well, yeah, I definitely want your gem, but bitch, have you seen the stats on that?
She's stacked.
Let me swipe it.
And her gym is real pretty too.
Ew.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I liked that.
There was.
I liked how that fight went.
I think well, my general problem with the whole thing is just that nothing connected. Like, everything was disparate. Like, everything had, like, the only thing that brought them all into contact was the fact that he was very upset and was making illogical jumps to make them make sense.
Yeah.
So none of this. Okay. And that was my issue. It's just like, nothing connects. At no point do ends meet, in my opinion. So it's just like,
I can see that. I kind of disagree, but I understand where you're coming from.
And again, it's not like not that I didn't enjoy it, but I was just because if certain things had been different that made it more seem that the jump in logic was more understandable.
Yeah.
Or if it just like
I'll say this: too many things in this were just a little too
coincidental.
Convenient.
Yeah, like he just happens to be
at the place to see
the guy melting. That urban legend thing.
He just happens to be special and be able to.
Like, there's a lot. But I'll say this: like,
this all happens to be happening right here at the same time as he's here.
In the wrong book or in a different book, I hate that. Like, just depending on how it's done, I just fucking hate it sometimes. But this, I didn't mind it in this. Like, I'm prepared to, I'm prepared to suspend my disbelief of how coincidental things are in the right circumstances. So
I liked it.
So. So, anything that y'all?
What was your favorite part? Like the single favorite scene, favorite anything?
Again, his imagined conversation with
one?
Noah. Especially the ones towards the end where he's talking about like, well, dude, I'm fucking angry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's okay to be angry.
He's like,
man.
I feel like I shouldn't be. Like, I feel bad for feeling angry, but I can't fucking help it. I'm just fucking angry. And just like, cause Noah's like, well, okay, then be angry. And really, it's just him saying it's fine to be angry. Like it's a coping mechanism. I get it, but like, just like that was just like that was emotionally raw, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was written well. I wish there was more of that.
That was kind of my thing. It was like,
because it was so enjoyable. That,
what about you? What was your favorite thing?
I really liked Oliver's interactions with his mom.
Yeah.
Because, the mom can see that her kid is struggling. She doesn't... she thinks it's because his best friend is dead, which, yes.
It's part of it.
His best friend's dead, and that's part of it. But, her trying to give her adult child space, but also still deal with her own grief because she helped raise that kid.
She's super close with the mom.
It's a tight-knit community, so she's dealing with her own grief, but also trying to be there for her kid, but not pry, but still be supportive, and still also it's fucking Christmas. I really liked his interactions with his mom, even though there wasn't a whole lot of it. I guess I liked how his mom seemed to try to balance
how she played it.
She didn't always nail it.
Yeah, but what parent does?
She was definitely trying.
Did she ever... I don't really feel like she ever overstepped. Because even the things where he was like, she might... Normally, she would have just rolled up into his room. This time, she knew not to.
Yeah.
So she
No,
didn't.
he went
think
out
she
with the
nailed it,
knave and
so.
then like, depression napped until 2:00 in the afternoon, and she didn't come in like, get up, get up, get up. Why are you in bed? Are you sad? What's going on? Are you crying? Do you want some
me.
food? Talk to me. No,
Like
she
she
just
did
like,
text him like, "Hey, you want to talk,
like,
buddy?"
Are you alive? Okay.
And then when he came down, she's like, "Okay, he clearly
Okay.
doesn't want to talk about it."
Cool. And like I appreciated that.
Yeah, well, that's real good. Derek?
Other than that line that just killed me,
I'll quickly say this: all the Waffle House scenes, other than the one where they're like, "Oh, we're going into the Narrows," not that Waffle House scene, but all the other Waffle House scenes, I really liked because that was just super relatable. Like that was a large
Slightly
part.
sticky menu.
Yeah, it was a large part of my life for a long time. Was, hey guys, we're going to Waffle House because we lived in Troy and there was nothing else to do.
yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know how to pin it down, but like anytime Oliver was directly dealing with his problems with Noah, like I liked those, and it wasn't because like I enjoyed how he was acting, because a lot of time I'm like, some of this isn't on him. Like I know a lot of it is like the whole that you guys stopped talking, but like some of the other stuff, you don't really have a leg to stand on some of this stuff. So I appreciated that they didn't make it seem like he was in the right.
Yeah, because like he even starts talking about it like he's like, you moved to Omaha and you didn't even let us know that you made it there. Well, it's a two-way street. Like, but you could have, hey man, did you make it to Omaha all right? Like texting is a two-way street. And like, yes, Noah had been less and less and less and getting more and more withdrawn. And I understand that. But I mean, you can't just not talk, like make no effort to talk to someone for 16 months and then blame the other person entirely because you also made no effort to talk
But
for
sure
16
you can
months.
Because you're in grief. And
Well,
people do that all the
yeah,
time.
but that was the point.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like you totally can do that. That doesn't mean that you're
right.
Right. Though.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like he kind of
Figures it out at the end.
kind of towards the end. It seems like he kind of
Exactly.
figures that out. And,
Yeah.
Because like when they had the scene like very close to the end, like his going away dinner thing, like the fact that he was still being like cheery to Oliver, and
and Oliver's being catty.
yeah, and you can like in my mind, maybe it was just me imagining it, but it was very clear that he hurt Noah's feelings.
Yeah. Well, it even says something like Noah noticed it,
but
just kind of talked past it, kind of deal.
right.
The other thing was like he at one point he makes a reference. He's like, well, Noah moved back to Austin, but he was like 20 minutes away, so we just didn't hang out. Like,
What's 20 minutes,
what
dude?
the fuck is 20 minutes? Like,
See that?
and so that's part of the thing is like what I gather, like Oliver back home, like when he like in Austin, like Oliver is like, other than this little excursion into the Narrows, Oliver 100% does not seem like a leader. Like he talked about his job, like he doesn't like his job. He kind of had a girlfriend, but that's like he's got some kind of friends, but like really like Devontae's is what it really like. His life is basically Devontae. They live together,
And he constantly talks to
yeah,
Sophia,
and like it's like it seems to me like reading between the lines, Oliver is very much like a kind of a lazy homebody hermit type, like, and so I think maybe Noah moves back and Oliver didn't really make like oh my god, he was 20 minutes away.
You see,
No.
that was,
But again, you know people like that. I know people like that.
I am
so.
that person. But that was my thing. I was like, no, I get those feelings, but you don't get to be mad about that though. Like you're making this choice to not engage.
Yeah.
So you don't get to
Well, I think a lot
be
of
that way.
Oliver's anger. I mean, yeah,
I think
it's
a lot of it's at himself,
at Noah,
yeah,
but
but-
a lot of that anger is at himself. But it's a lot easier to be mad at someone else than it is to be mad at yourself.
Yeah.
I think the last question to really ask is when Travis writes this blockbuster sequel on my idea. Like, do I ask for 10%?
No, you
or
just
like 50%.
no. You
or
ask for an acknowledgement.
the movie rights.
No, and like 1 point on the movie deal.
Yeah. I just want
You
to
ask him to hook you up with his sweet. I know this is self-pubbed, but his next book's going to be published because he's going to write that next really good idea. You have him hook you up with his
agent.
Yeah.
I thought that's a ridiculous question, Bob. Like, why can't we get to the real question, which is, what color would your gym be?
Clearly, some shade of orange, I guess.
Is this what you throw up?
Well, no, but like just these book covers and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like
Ready orange?
I'm starting to realize I'm kind of like the
Into
narrows.
the orange.
Yeah, I'm really like.
Cerulean.
I don't like. And
Yeah.
it's weird because I don't really like orange that much.
Yeah. Same. I'm not a big red and orange person.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite color is definitely not on that hot spectrum.
I would want it to be dark green though. Mm-hmm. Love me some dark green.
Emerald.
Yeah, forest, hunter, green.
Cerulean.
But yeah, no. Book's great. We've spoiled every bit of everything if you haven't already read this book. But you really should read it. There's so much that we
Blue
didn't
purple
cover.
with a galaxy on the inside with glitters and swirls.
Chocolate sprinkles.
No. Black. Emo.
Taking
Dark
back-
purple.
Taking back Sunday sprinkles.
Dark purple. It's almost black with my emo side face hair.
That's your friend.
Well, mine would be the color of my car, probably.
Blue.
It's just kind of a light blue.
Light blue.
I can't wait till we go to the thrift store. I am going to blast Taking Back Sunday the whole way there. And I'm going to, if y'all weren't with me, I would put it in my headphones and be like
Wrecking, yeah.
like high kicking through the thrift store while we get books.
Look, I already told you that you should just not buy books, stay here and hang out and listen to music.
Do high kicks?
Yeah.
Do all the high kicks.
Because I don't want to go thrifting, but I would definitely
Okay.
listen to some music.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Figured out.
Yeah.
Also, you don't need more books. Why are y'all going to buy books?
For kids.
Kids
Oh,
books.
that's fair.
We
For
gotta
the,
buy-
for the children.
for the charity.
We should print this and give it to the children.
So, all right. Let us know what you think about this book if you've read it. If you haven't read it, please read it. Like I said, we're going to try and get an interview with Travis Riddle. He's agreed. He tentatively agreed to do an
excited.
interview. We just got to pull the trigger and do it.
Mm-hmm.
I got to figure out some software.
I don't know how to do any of that.
Well, do Zencaster. I think will be fine. But all right. So, yeah. In the coming week, I hope the dry erase board of your week is smudge free, easily Windexed.
And you have these awesome, like, Airplane-
Can planes.
Well, I'm saving those for.
Well, too late.
Yeah.
They've
No.
been
And
spoiled.
may your notes that you write upon it be highly
Legible.
legible and easily checked
unrealistic
off.
for you.
And may the blessing of the beard be upon you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Books, Beards, Booze. Our co-hosts are Bob, Derek, and Tanya. Our producer is Bob. For more information, visit our website, booksbeardsbooze.com. Follow our social media at Tales by Bob. If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate, subscribe, and share. Okay, bye.